and Iska to go do this?
I'm just gonna set up sort of. I imagine there's sort of a camp around the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's gonna get Tian out, sort of, and then just on the edge, just sort of at the edge of the on the wagon, just at the edge, pull Tian out, sort of sit him right next to them, and I'm just gonna go. You wanted to when I did this, and maybe I'll tell you what I go through and what I see. It might not be nice, but you know, it'd be nice to have some support, and maybe you can, stop me doing stupid things like you stopped Iskrin doing stupid things, I guess.
She gets her notes out
Mm-hmm.
and just gives Axel a smile. Like maybe touches his shoulder and just like whenever you're ready.
Yeah, and he's gonna sort of turn his attention to the book, and he is basically, any sort of ideas that he comes up with, what he sees, what he reads, what he understands, he is just sort of going to just talk it out, sort of. So she is almost entirely aware what's going through his head as he goes through this. It might be a bit rammed. It is Axel, after all.
Yeah. You open to the rune that you've been studying and begin to examine it and sort of trace it with your mind, looking into the weave and the coils of the death rune, and this peaceful scene around you seems to sort of grow dark. It's still there somewhat, but this coldness begins to overcome you, and you do see that serpent again. It seems to rise up from out of the cairns and start to snake around them. Seems particularly interested in some of the larger ones. Sort of passes through them, caresses them. You begin to grow colder. Your hair starts to stand up on end. And you realize everyone else around you seems to be almost caught between moments. Iska's still there. She's not writing. Her pen is poised above it. The conversation between Iskrin and Cilia seems to have stopped. Luck, mid-throw of a treat to Grain, as this serpent winds its way through its cairns, brings himself up over to you, and again does that odd, almost caress around your neck, and once more around your neck. Pulls up and looks in your face, and almost smiles at you. You then see it begin to hover over top of your face in that familiar way that you saw it do back at Moss Hollow, right before it would dive down into the person. You can speak if you'd like.
Yeah, he's just sort of just gently just gonna sort of push it away. Not today. Not today.
It almost looks at you questioningly, and it gives you a hiss. And you have a split second to choose What are you going to hold on to? You've got Tian right there. You've got all these images around you. You've got Iska right there.
He's reaching. He'll reach out and grab Iska's hand. Yeah.
You grab Iska's hand as suddenly, Iska, you are brought into the vision. You see this black winged serpent dive into Axel's eyes, and his eyes turn inky black. Axel, I need you to make 2 death saving throws. At advantage, because Iska is there holding your hand.
Just real quick, I put it in the chat because you started talking. I didn't want to interrupt, but I mentioned Iska giving inspiration when she touched
Usually we
me.
don't allow inspiration on death saving
On
throws.
this? Oh, that's
I'm
fair,
giving
that's
you
fair.
I'm giving the advantage.
Advantage. Okay.
Because he pulled you in.
Okay.
You have advantage.
Oh yeah. I usually defaults to advantage.
Yeah. So it's 7. Do another one with advantage. As
You beat that without advantage.
As you watch, you see Axel, just his chin up to the sky. His chest looks like it's about to burst. As this snake coils down, as you see it slither down through his mouth and his eyes become black. And as you're holding his hand, Iska, it goes completely cold. You don't feel. You scramble to try to put your hand on his wrist, put your hand to his neck, and you don't feel a heartbeat at all. And then, dum-dum, as it comes back, and then it starts again, and he goes cold, and this time you see like this wisp, almost like a glowing wisp of smoke. It's interesting. It's very similar to a trail that you saw behind yourself as you left the body of the clockwork. And then at the last second, when you see the last trail of it about to leave his lips, he breathes it back in. And Axel, you come to. And Iska, you notice something. His fur around his neck. There's now a black collar, which reminds you eerily of the vision that you just had, as there is now this mark around Axel's neck. Axel, you will find within your handouts the Master Rune of Death.
You're muted.
I didn't need to say it. I am Master of Death. I feel so bad. I'm sorry, but it's
Of
perfect.
all the runes you could pursue,
of all the places to pursue.
of all the vast knowledge he could pursue.
He didn't even
Such
care.
a wonderful moment you do this. I love it. Listen, here we come.
Actually, this is going to be interesting. Because Iska was there with you, while she doesn't know how to use it, she knows what it is. So yeah, the Destrux rune of death, unlife, and despair is now known to you. As you wake back up into this place with Iska staring at you.
Just gonna say, guys, Soul Eater, crap. Just as far as I read, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah.
Just look at Bird's
so
face
bad.
as he reads
So
it.
bad. Once per day, as an action, you may invoke this rune that has been prepared on a blood opal to summon the shadow certain Sithrax, the Soul Eater. Sithrax will appear in a distance within 60 feet, plus level feet of use. Sithrax touch causes instant death until sated. Starting with a creature with the highest hit points within 15 feet of it, Sithrax necrotically drains life until it is drained, hit points equal to the following equation. If no living creature is in 15 feet, it moves in a random direction until a creature or a creature comes in range. It does not differentiate allies from enemies and has no effect on undead or those necromantic too. Well, that's something I'm never gonna use unless we say killing a giant with lots and lots of hit points.
So,
Axel, you might feel a pain in your hand right now. Iska is just squeezing it like so hard, and just like